Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I just ordered a new deck and it arrived yesterday, and it's by an Italian artist called Ciro Marchetti. I might be getting that pronunciation wrong, but this is the Marchetti deck, and he's an Italian. This is an Italian artist, an Italian tarot deck. So I'm really excited about this because the images are just superb, absolutely superb. So what I do is, I when I see a deck, that's the Sun, the card of happiness. When I see a deck that I like, I will actually order it. I don't get attracted to all tarot decks. I also have my old faithfuls that I like to read from, including my Aquarian deck. Again, the Sun, so it's happiness. And my Arcanum deck, which I use as well. So they're the sort of decks that I tend to use, including my Celtic deck. I'll pull out. So pull out when I need to. So or when I'm drawn to. So what I do is I use the tarot decks that I'm drawn to for any particular reading. So that's why you'll see me using a wide variety of decks depending on the subjects that I'm reading on. What came with the Marchetti tarot deck is I also ordered some Kipper cards. Now, the Kipper card system is a German fortune-telling system, and indeed is very close to the way that a gypsy might have read. These were developed in the Industrial Revolution around that time in Germany, in Bavaria. And so they present a unique look, I think, on society and life as we live it in society. So very much the ups and downs of life as it unfolds in the environment, in the society around us. So again, they've got some great imagery here. Marchetti's got some great imagery here. The card for high honour, for example, is winning the battle. Wealthy man might come forward in relation to Republican donors, for example. Despair, of course, equates in the tarot to the Nine of Swords. Bad health, hospitalisation, mental worries, again might equate to the Ten of Swords in the tarot. Adjudication, law, decisions, government decisions coming down. Unexpected income also, can be around this idea that of loans and debts. Corresponding in the tarot, I think, to the Six of Pentacles. So there are some similarities, but it's a totally different system. And the way that it's read, is sort of, well, the way that I've been experimenting with the Kipper cards is in a deck of 9, a reading of 9, 3 rows of 3 with the signifier card in the centre. And then very much a narrative unfolds. So, in the future I might either use these Kipper cards as clarifying cards, or indeed I might do a reading of the, really just using them in the new year. But tarot is the system for me, and so that's what I will be using. But it's just fun to have a look at other systems like Lenormand and the Kipper system. So back to the tarot, back to Marchetti's beautiful deck. Beautiful deck. I really am one for artwork, and, pardon me, that card has fallen down. We'll see what has fallen down. The King of Wands. So that might be stepping into our own power, I think, and being inspired. Okay, so I wanted to have a look at a viewer's question today, and it was around Jeff Sessions, and it sort of came out of the blue in the comments to me after, I think might have been in connection with the Matt Whitaker reading, and that Whitaker wouldn't last too long. He certainly wouldn't be able to influence overtly the Mueller probe. I do think Whittaker, as we know, has been this go-between Trump, the White House, and the FBI. So more of that will come out later. But this question was around, how does Jeff Sessions feel now? How does he feel? You know, he's had a long career as a Republican. He was tied up with the he perjured himself and had to recuse himself from the Mueller probe. You know, being fired by Donald Trump, you know, when he was pretty much one of his first allies, can't have gone down well. Is he going to be indicted in the future now? Is he, you know, what's this situation here? How is the Mueller investigation going to deal with Jeff Sessions, if indeed they are dealing with him at all? What's his future hold? How does he feel about being fired? So I think it's worthy to take a look. Thank you, viewer, for that question. Let's have a look at Jeff Sessions following his firing. How does he feel now? You know, he's once a loyal ally of Trump's. You know, appearing at his campaign rallies in 2016, getting caught up in that whole campaigning for Trump. You know, saw the opportunities there, was rewarded as the Attorney General, the Department of Justice. That was his reward for his loyalty. Then had to recuse himself and then has been on Trump's hit list ever since. How is Jeff Sessions feeling at the moment? Not happy. Not a happy way to end his career. So how is Jeff Sessions feeling at the moment? Okay, so the Page of Wands, interesting card to draw on this, because the Page of Wands is, you know, this kind of working on new projects. So what's Jeff Sessions working on, we might ask? The Four of Pentacles is, you know, this long-term security and fear of change. It's also the Money card, trying to hold on to one's wealth. What is that signifying? Is there a money trail? Because that's his crossing card. Is there a money trail leading to Jeff Sessions? Is that what he's working on, trying to protect that at the moment? And so the Strength card comes forward. So it seems to me that he's trying to shore up his security. In the past, of course, we have the Six of Wands, which is moving on and transitions for Jeff Sessions. That's his firing. Up in the sky, what is the the potential of this, the Page of Pentacles, and this is patience and new jobs and news about money. So there is something new that Jeff Sessions is working on at the moment, and it is to do with protecting his financial security. I think he might be caught up in the Mueller probe. Or that might be his fear. So what's he doing? Is he cooperating with Mueller? That'll be our next question. And the Ten of Cups comes forward in relation to this retirement and building of assets. So this is, where is he now? What's he doing? He's very much trying to protect his assets, his financial security. Why would that be in jeopardy? Is that his is this his retirement pension, or whatever, his retirement, or is this indeed any money donations that might have been given to him? So he's working hard on trying to protect his long-term financial security. Why is it under threat from Mueller? We'll ask that question. So in terms of bitterness, we can ask if he's holding a grudge, but this reading tells us his prime concern right now at this moment in time is trying to protect his long-term financial security. So from what? What is he trying to protect his long-term financial security from? Is he going to be caught up in the Mueller probe? Is this what's going to happen? Is Jeff Sessions going to be caught up in the Mueller probe with these donations, campaign donations? What's going on here? Why is he working so hard to protect his financial security? Okay, so is Jeff Sessions going to be caught up, or is he giving information to Robert Mueller? What's the relationship between Jeff Sessions and the Mueller investigation? Okay, is he going to be caught up in any way in the Mueller probe? Okay, well, we've got the Eight of Wands, things happening quite quickly. Okay, the Six of Cups. Okay, as his crossing card, what is what's challenging him? The Six of Cups comes forward, in relation to partnerships and reunions. It's the card of innocence. So, what is challenging Jeff Sessions at the moment, I think, is his relationship with Donald Trump and the events of 2016. You know, when there was this excitement and the Republicans were taking over the world and they were liaising with the Russians and there were meetings in Trump Tower, this past, Jeff Sessions' challenge is his past. And the Ten of Swords is the focus of the reading. Is he going to be caught up with the Mueller probe? Here is the card of endings, complete and painful endings. So something is actually going to occur with him in the future that actually will put him in jeopardy in some way. So it seems like in the future, we're not finished with Jeff Sessions yet. What's his relationship with Mueller? Is he going to be caught up in the probe? Okay, the Six of Pentacles is loans and debts and giving and receiving help. So this indicates to me that he indeed has been caught up in the Mueller probe and the events of 2016. Now, he had to recuse himself from the Russian investigation. Why is that? Because he lied under oath, okay, about meeting the Russian ambassador. So there are things that Mueller is investigating. He is going to be caught up there in some way. The Devil, okay, what's the potential? Material greed, chained to moneyed outcomes. I think he is actually going to be caught up, he already is caught up in the Mueller probe. And the Seven of Pentacles reaffirms this, the Seven of Wands reaffirms this. This is self-defense, okay? This is having to protect himself. So this is what he's doing. This is what Jeff Sessions is doing. He's working at the moment on some plan or some idea or some project to protect his financial longer-term security. It could well be that he's either being investigated or has been investigated by Mueller at the moment, or he may well be cooperating with Mueller, but he's indeed having to defend himself right now. Okay, interesting cards. This viewer's question just caught me the side of, like seeing something out of the side of your eye. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, this is someone else's intuition coming forward here. Let's have a look. Indeed, they're very valid questions to have a look at Jeff Sessions, because he did lie under oath and he had to recuse himself. Now he's no longer the Attorney General. What's happening between he and the Mueller probe. These cards would indicate that he is actually either under investigation or has been investigated and either is cooperating or, maybe, perhaps we won't go that far. The cards aren't telling us that, but there is a connection between him and the Mueller probe, and he is working, his prime focus at the moment is protecting his long-term financial security. So let's have a look as if, does he bear a grudge to Trump, against Trump? Does he bear any grudges for the way things were handled against Trump? He's sort of like, you sow what you reap, and those comments will come forward. But, and he's an unlikable person. He's a racist, and we know all of that about Jeff Sessions. We've seen those, things being put forward about him and about his past actions. Does he hold a grudge? Because I would assume that if he did, he that wouldn't be helpful to Trump at all. Does he hold a grudge against Trump? Are we seeing friends turning on each other? Is that the kind of situation we're seeing? Are we seeing a little bit of vindictiveness, or are we likely to see that? Does he hold a grudge against Trump? So we've got the Four of Cups, we've got the disappointment, the embittered disappointment that then provokes apathy. He's not happy at all, which is interesting. And when someone's like this, they can be vindictive. What's crossing him? What's his challenge? The Two of Pentacles. He's certainly weighing up his options there. Interesting. We might hear more about this in the future. Yeah, there's an aspect to this card too in weighing up his options and choices. It's almost like there's a, how can I put it with this card? It's the ship is in the background here, and it's almost, which way will I go? Will I kind of rat on my mates, or will I not? Will I cooperate? Will I won't? But there is kind of an aspect to this card. It's not sinister, but there is that element in coming forward with my choices. How is this going to impact on others? And sometimes when we make those decisions, we know the impact is not going to be good. So that's his challenge at the moment. Oh gosh, the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords comes forward with abusive relationships and bullies and theft. Yeah, he's actually looking at the relationship between Trump and what Trump's done to him, and he's not happy at all. He may answer back in the future. Okay, he might be standing up. He might become the bully himself. He might then, I guess, share some information that was in confidence. He might share that with Mueller. Interesting. And the Emperor, okay, this is, I think, Sessions, and he's not going to lie down that easily. He was the head of the DOJ. He's occupied prominent positions in the past, a senator. He's not going to roll over that easily for Donald Trump. And strength, I think he might have some aces up his sleeves. Does he hold a grudge against Trump? This reading's saying that he does. And look, he's moving on and transitioning, so he's no longer an ally of Donald Trump's. He's actually going to be coming forward. Page of Pentacles comes forward with this news of money, which is very interesting. What stories does he have to tell? This is like patience, a person being patient, and it's also moving into new positions, and it's also can portend to family or money news. Okay, is this something to do with the Trump organisation? Is he going to share some information there that might portend to that? Very interesting cards. Okay, so look, this is, as I said, this is a reading that that caught my eye, and I thought it would be good to look at. In summary, Sessions is not happy about being fired and being treated the way he is. He's got considerable strength to bring to any future action against Donald Trump. He seems to be working at the moment to shore up his longer-term financial security, and this change has been. This being fired is not, it's kind of, he's not taking that lightly. He's not taking that laying down. So an interesting reading, I think, there. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, the major arcana on the bottom of the pack. Seems to be that the Wheel of Fortune has changed for Sessions and Trump, and somehow they're caught up in all of that together. There are indications that he may be sharing some sort of news with the Mueller investigation, or indeed he may have been the subject of investigation in the past. Very interesting. Thank you, viewer, for that question. I don't think we've heard the last of Jeff's sessions.